So for today's practice, where we will get to experiment with an antidote to stagnation of any kind, of the mind, fogginess, right, or the body feeling lethargic, but also two of the 5 pranas, the 5 ways in which the wind moves in the body. Viana Vayu, which spreads, expands, it's cold, it's dry, it's mobile, and Viana, and Udana, which is all about self-expression, and also stimulating the area of the thoracic spine. So, if you're feeling a little sluggish, hop on over. This practice will be perfect for you. You will want a chair, 2 blankets, and a yoga mat. As you notice here, my yoga mat is folded in half so that there is contact to the ground. Yes, carpet, by the way, is not going to be so functional for one particular part of the pose, just so you know. If you have an area in the house that does not have carpet, and unlike where you may be at this moment. So you are going to just start here, standing on the blanket in Tadasana with the toes pointing straight ahead, and then turn to the side and move towards your chair, but so that you are on the ground with your feet on the floor, so that there is more stability. Okay? Bring that right leg up, the leg that's closest to the chair. Have it be your right leg though, so opposite from what you see here with me, so that we are on the same page as I call out the rights and lefts. From the inner groin, open up to the inner knee, and then press down onto that foot. And then from here, nudge your way to the back seat of the chair. You may need to walk in a little bit more, where you're going to use that as a little stabilizing force to open the left lungs. The front lungs, the side lungs, and the back lungs. It's a very 3-dimensional approach here. Reaching up through your left arm. You can take that left hand, especially at first, just to the base of the skull to encourage a little bit more of a lift there. So just envisioning that little bone, the occipitus, that holds the neck and the head together, a little space around it. And then from here, you're going to start to move towards the chair. Kind of like the shape of Parigassana, yeah? Except the leg that typically would be straight is here bent. And the leg that typically would be bent, the one that you're standing on, is now straight. But using these tools, these anchors, to allow you to expand through the ribs. Sometimes the ribs can feel so sticky, right? So to bring circulation, to bring life force, prana, into that area is so beneficial. So again, the hands can be at the base of the skull, or you can bring it all the way up and around. The chest stays open. That will support us where we're moving. Just a little bit. And then here, feel the earth, both the ground underneath that left foot and the chair underneath that right foot, and press down into those so that you can expand more along the area of the ribs. You can look down, you can look up, depending on what your neck is asking for. The main aim here is just to get some breath into those lungs. Keep going if you like, but you're not forcing, right? You are really looking to open from the inside. So it's a very, it's a beautiful dance that you do with your body. Do I have permission to to expand a little further from within. The body will tell you when and how. And then as you come back to center, bring that top leg back down. And then take a moment here to stand in Tadasana and notice the two sides. So now for me, the left side feels much broader, more open, more filled with life force. And the right side almost feels like it's shrunk, but he hasn't. Just now I have more perspective, right? So let's go ahead and do the same thing on the second side. You can just flip over depending on how you're doing with the device you have there. I will move this in a little bit, make sure you can see. And then again, standing in Tadasana. Bringing that left leg up, bringing it over on top of the chair, pressing down onto that foot of your bent leg, pressing down onto that foot of your straight leg. And then from the inner groin of that bent leg, extend out to the inner knee. And notice how that engages the outer glute a little bit. Keep this engagement, keep this base nice and solid as you reach the right arm up. And then take that left hand to the chair to create the support that you need to then arc up and over it. And then here you can, as you did on the other side, if you did that on the other side, take your hand to the base of the skull, encourage the skull to lift up off of the neck, even if just a little. It will feel so good. Right? The head is usually being pressed down onto the neck. So give your neck a little bit of freedom here. And your head will be most grateful too, because when the neck is free, then prana can flow freely too. And so here, you may find on this side, the right side, where the liver is, that it's a little bit tighter than the other, or vice versa, right? The two sides of the body have their distinct capacities. One is stronger, the other is more flexible. Just observe. Be very interested in the side ribs and the back ribs. Keep going with each breath, noticing how the body generously invites you in more deeply, more fully. And then if you want to extend the arm all the way out, if it's not already there, do so. Maybe looking up, if that feels appropriate for you, or looking down, or keeping the head neutral. But most importantly, that there is freedom in the neck. And even though you're extending out through the arm, that shoulder is really dropping down. And you just feel those ribs expand, and you feel that waistline, getting a breath, that window opening up. One more breath, or two. No rush. Make sure that you're not forcing from the outside, though. Let this be a more internal expansion, because that's really where the gem is. Right? That's where you can experience prana, is on the inside of your body, not out. And as you're ready, come on back. And that bent leg, the leg that's on the chair, go ahead and take it down. And notice how the two sides are now. it's really about getting circulation to generate from inside out into the peripheries. Yeah? So we're going to do a little bit of engagement, a little bit of work. And no better way to feel that circulation than to work the big muscles in the body, like the glutes and the thighs. So that's what we're going to do with this other blanket here. Free off of the yoga mat. Let's go ahead and bring that right foot forward towards the chair and the left foot onto the blanket, like so. So you're just on the ball of that back foot, the hips are aligned. And then let's go ahead and take the back of the chair and tilt it in. You may find that, you need to lean back a little bit more. Gonna take this off of the chair so that it's a little bit easier to detect what's touching where in the chair for you over there and for me. Now from here, you're just going to glide that left leg back as you lean forward, just a little, just to stabilize the chair again, but to find length, not flexing the spine, keeping it nice and long, and then sliding your way back in. Stretching it back, you don't need to go very far, just to engage the right glutes and maintain alignment through the spine, and then slide back in. Let's do about 5 more like this. And maybe if you feel that you can go a little bit further, you can stretch a little bit back, by all means, you may even want to tilt the chair back this way. You just don't want to go too far because you want to be able to come back in smoothly like so. And let's do 4 more. Small movements at first might be appropriate just so that you can stay integrated. And then as you progress with this, as you do it more often, bigger movements. Let's go ahead and do 2 more. Lengthening out. So that right glute, you should definitely be experiencing something there, yeah? And then now on this last one, let's stay back there. And maybe if it's comfortable for you, if it feels safe to you, of course everything that you do should feel safe. Stretch back even further so that you are lengthening the spine over that right leg. That back leg, the left leg, is very straight, very strong, very engaged. Maybe even your forehead goes onto your seat. Breathe here, keeping both legs active and lengthening the torso off of your hips. And then as you're ready, bring the chair back to a stable ground. Place your hands at the base of the chair and slide your way back in. Come into Tadasana, mountain pose, and just notice. That's Viana Vayu, yeah? All this pulsation, expanding out. It's very invigorating. As you're ready, we'll give it a go with the other side. So this time your right foot will go back on the chair, on the blanket, your left foot close to the chair, and then bring your hands to the seat of the chair. So a very heavy chair would make this a little bit difficult to move back and forth, so I would recommend just keeping the chair stable, yeah, instead of rocking between. And if you're a novice, it might be a good idea just to kind of watch at first, really play it in very, very small amounts so that you're safe, so that you feel steady along the way, so that you can find that alignment and benefit from the asana. So then again, very small movements at first. And you may find that since you already experimented with the other side, you can kind of glide through it with a little bit more ease, maybe a little bit faster, and maybe you can go a little bit deeper right from the start. Just observe. It's like a game of curiosity that you're playing with the body. Yeah? Where are you? Where are you on this side? What do you need? What are your hesitations? Just being aware, not needing to change anything. So let's say we'll do about 4 more. Yeah? All the way you're breathing. Your joints are happy. Ankles, alignment with the knees. There's no strain on your joints whatsoever. There's just engagement in the glutes. A couple more. And let's just take a little pause back there on this last one, if it feels appropriate, of course. And so you are resting the torso onto the thigh. The legs are both very active, so don't forget that back leg. Keep it nice and straight, nice and strong. And although the torso is resting on the thigh, you are lengthening from the pelvic floor up through the sternum, through the crown of the head. So there is some activity there. And the back body is also full, yeah? There's a lot of awareness here to position yourself in such a way that it's not dead weight, right? And then bring the chair to a stable ground. Place both hands at the base and then slide your way back in. And once more, coming into standing. And just noticing Viana Vayu. Not the appropriate thing to do when you are depleted, exhausted, right? You need to conserve. But definitely the appropriate thing to do when you have been conserving, and you need to start to expand a little bit more, to spend a little bit more. So now, we're going to explore a little bit more of the Udana Vayu, yeah? That prana of self-expression. We will take that Tadasana blanket, and we're going to do a 3-fold with it, like so. Right here next to the chair. And then we're going to take the other blanket and place it over the chair, like so. And now you're going to come into kneeling, obviously if that's appropriate for you. Otherwise you can just skip this part with the legs and just kind of be in the spirit of what happens here from in the area of the thoracic spine in a way that feels safe for you. If you can see, my toes are flexed. The toes are pointing forward towards my knees. And my heels, especially the inner part of my heels, I'm sending that back to the back of the chair, okay? And then from here, I'll take my hands to the chair. This is probably a good one just to watch the first time. And then lean back. So as I lean back, the support of the chair, and notice I have that cushion here with the blanket, is right at the area of my kidney, so that's very comforting, yeah? And then from this, I begin to lean back. Notice I don't let just the head hang. The head is gonna come down last. I can bring my arms out to the sides, and just feel those shoulder blades pressing down onto the chair. And now, as I continue to press down through the mounts of my big toes, or the pads of my toes, I use that to encourage my hips to rise a little bit higher. So I'm opening up through the front of the thighs so that I can open the front of the pelvis, and so that I can open through the chest. The glutes, they are lifting up. Not drawing, not squeezing together, because that would compress the spine. They're lifting up as to encourage the pelvis to open even more. Just breathe here. So it's a really strong stretch through the quadriceps, right? Those 4 big muscles in the thighs. The arms can be here, the arms can be here, right at first, maybe even here. So you're opening the front body. And the neck is opening. Udana Vayu. Great for liberating those things that need to be said. Yeah? If not to others, to ourselves. Lift up more through the hips by engaging more through the feet. And then as you're ready, come on back. And pause and just feel, again, very invigorating. So Udana also has this expansive kind of a sensation that goes with it. Now, you can play with this again, or if you'd rather, instead of flexing the feet, you can point it. Like it's a little bit in the spirit of Ustrasana, your camel pose. So for this one, so I'm going to have the feet pointing. I would fold it twice like this, so that there's support right at the area of the ankles. So again, sitting back. And you may find that it's not okay to sit back like this with your knees, so you can just be here at first. And then bringing yourselves back. Might need to walk back a little bit. Again, you want the bottom of the ribs to be in contact with the chair. Okay, so maybe slide the chair in a little bit more. I'm noticing I need to do that. And then from here, again, so this time, because the toes are pointing back, I'm pressing down through the shins quite a bit to lift up those hips, to open up that pelvis. And then maybe if there's an opening in the back of your chair, you can take it like so. And maybe even you can take your hands all the way to the back of the chair. Press down through the fronts of your feet. Open through the fronts of the pelvis. And then the neck, you have that great support there with the back of the chair, the shoulders and your head. Open up to the area of the throat. Udana Vayu. Throat, neck, head. Slowly come on back. This overall is an important area to work, because when the heart is saying one thing, the head is saying another, this here gets very confused. So to bring our attention, with attention to Prana, in the particular area that may be going through some conflict is a very kind thing to do. So let's go ahead and do a third one. You can have the feet flexed or extending back as I am now. See what's more comfortable for you, okay? And let's give it one more go. So again, leaning back, lift up. Press down through the shins. Press back through your feet. Lift up through the thighs, broaden through the pelvis. Feel the support of the chair. Let those shoulder blades really go down to open more through the thoracic spine and the chest. You can take your arms through if it's there for you to do so. Bring your hands to the back of the chair. And again, just be with the area of the throat. Here. Maybe even a little ujjayi breath, restricting the area of the throat. Slightly on the exhalation. 3 more breaths on your own, at your own pace. As you let it come on down, and turn around. Your knees have been bent for a little while. So go ahead and place your hands onto the chair. And come on up into a Ardha Uttanasana, where you get to straighten out your legs, lift up through the quadriceps. And then you can, this is what feels appropriate for you in terms of flexibility for the hamstrings, then that's where you stay. If you can go a little bit lower, or maybe even have your forehead resting onto the seat, do that. The toes are pointing straight ahead. The feet are rooting down. The thigh muscles are lifting up, up, up. Your knees are smiling. And you're giving yourselves an opportunity to settle, to ground, to bring all that energy from Viana, standing out, and Udana, breathing up, back in. Slowly find your way back. Just standing. Observing how you feel. Provided you have the time, it's a wonderful moment to expand on this, any part of this, or just do the entire little series once more. Or maybe tomorrow. Namaste.